Hello and welcome to episode 53, 54, 50.
57, but there we go.
You're joking.
Apparently the last 4
57.
episodes have not been memorable for you.
Blimey. Well, welcome. Episode 57 of Wrong End of the Stick podcast with me, Zach Eaton, and the skipper, Jonathan Nimmo. We're going to be speaking a little bit about cricket, the IPL. We've got we're running out of seemingly stumps, but we've got a seemingly stumped for each other today. And a little bit of two can play that game, I think.
And a bit of talk about us as well. In
Oh,
a
yes.
weirdly meta sort of way. We've got some news and stuff about us. So, we'll probably lead with that because people will likely have noticed when you've downloaded this podcast, depending on where you've got that from, our little picture will have changed, which is very nice. So we've now got a new logo and professionally designed. We're actually turning pro here, aren't we? Really,
we're turning professional. We're doing it for you.
We're trying to be a little bit more, at least in on the surface of it, a little bit professional. Anyway, so we've got
cosmetically,
cosmetically professional. That could be our new tagline. So we've got a nice little professionally drawn, nice little cartoony logo, which we're very pleased with.
Mm-hmm.
And we should say a bit of a thank you and a welcome to the huge numbers of new listeners we've had over the last few weeks. We haven't recorded in a little while, but our previous episode broke literally all kinds of records for us in terms of numbers of downloads and people we had listening, and almost exclusively from India as well. So welcome to all of our new Indian listeners who seem to have discovered us. We're very welcome along, and we're glad to have you here. But the last episode got about 7 times the amount of downloads than our previous best. So it's absolutely crazy. So welcome along to all of you that are new to the podcast. We'll attempt to explain our unique brand of craziness as we go.
Yes.
As we do.
As we do.
But we're very much in the mode of celebrating our new logo, and on the back of that, we've got some merch, haven't we? We're getting down with the kids. We've got some merch.
And Jonathan, you've done a lot of kind of the that side of things, but I'm really kind of pleased that there's some wrong end of the stick face masks. So for all of you safety conscious people out there in the midst of this lockdown, if you'd like to go cop yourselves a face mask to make sure that you're keeping you and your loved ones safe, whilst obviously showing your support to the wrong end of the stick, then I think that's my top pick out of the merch.
out of all the stuff that we create.
Oh, I love it.
On our store, and you can find this. We will put a link in the episode description, but you can find this on teespring.com. That's TWE Spring SPRANG.com/stores/wrong end of the stick. And we've got a mug, we've got t-shirts, we've got hoodies, we've got jumpers, we've got a tote bag because that seems to be a thing. We've even got socks. We've got phone cases. We've got everything, but we've even got socks. And as you say, the face mask. I do really like the face mask. I'm genuinely thinking of ordering one myself, so I can just advertise my own podcast throughout my local area, and that's while keeping everybody safe. From a 2-meter distance, I can advertise our own podcast. So I just got to start hanging out in the local supermarket, walking around, staring at people, so they'll go and download the podcast. So we will stick a link in there. And what we are going to do is we're going to have a few little competitions and stuff coming up over the next number of weeks. But we're going to do a launch competition where we're going to give away a t-shirt, aren't we?
Yep. Yeah.
So we're going to go.
We haven't quite figured out what kind of competition we're going to have yet. It might be something to do with one of the funny quotes that we've.
Yeah, we've got a number of ideas, but I think to set us off, I think if you go over to Twitter and join us, we are at Wrong End Podcast. If you go along, make sure you're following us, and we're going to put a tweet out advertising the store. Yep. If you retweet that and follow us, then we will stick your name in a hat. We're going to pull the name out, and the winner of that is going to get a nice little t-shirt sent to them wherever they are in the world. We don't mind if you're in India, Pakistan, Lithuania. We had a few Lithuanian listeners last week, so there you are. We'll send them anywhere. So you can go and win yourselves a t-shirt. And
stuff.
final thing that I should say on this, which I completely forgot to tell you about as well, which is very bad in my planning for this. But to celebrate the launch of the new store and the new merch that we've got, we are giving away 10% off. So if you go in and stick all of your favorite goodies into your basket and then enter the code launch10, you get 10% off. What more could you want?
Excellent. Go cop yourself some merch
Yeah.
before it all runs out, guys.
Well,
Quickly.
yeah, absolutely. That is only due to work until I think the end of November, so you got about 6 weeks of that. So yeah, go and get yourself 10% off before it all disappears and runs out. I've got stuff on the way to me, so I will be uploading pictures of me in my Wrong End of the Stick t-shirt with my Wrong End of the Stick mug very shortly, as soon as it arrives. So good stuff. So yeah, I think that's probably all of our news, isn't it? Really, that's all of our stuff. That's the thing that we've been working on over the last few weeks while we've been not here. We haven't forgotten about you all.
No, it's just been it's been a busy couple of weeks, isn't it? And there's, apart from the IPL, not been, I don't know, globally cricket news. Is there anything really that's
Well, no,
been
there
going
really
on?
is just the IPL that's happening at the moment. There's not a lot else happening at all, really. So yeah, but yeah, I have personally. Well, we have this bet, don't we, where we
Yes.
I am now officially supporting the Kolkata Knight Riders.
Yep.
Come on, KKR. And you are supporting the Sunrisers Hyderabad, if I'm right.
Yes.
And whichever of those two teams finishes highest in the IPL table, we're going to have to buy the winner a t-shirt, effectively, aren't we?
Yep.
Celebrating that team's victory. But by the look of it, particularly given how the Knight Riders are getting on today, where they've just finished their innings against Bangalore, and they've got a massive score of 84. That's not 184. That's just 84 runs.
Just 84. Yeah.
For 8. That's painful. So I don't think your bank balance is in any danger anytime soon. But
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's not been the greatest start for the Sunrisers, and we're up against the Rajasthan Royals, I think, tomorrow. So we'll see how that game goes. But where are we about on the league? Because I don't think there's that much between the two teams now, is there?
There was 2 points going into the game at the weekend between our two teams, and that was looking very good for you guys for a while.
Yeah.
And then you kind of threw it away in the last over, which I was continually texting you about.
Yes.
And that went down to a super over. And in fact, I think this was all on Saturday, wasn't it? Saturday or Sunday. There were 3 matches that all went to super overs. So I think we probably need to talk a bit about super overs at some point.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, so that went down to a super over. And then we took 2 wickets. So you only ended up, so the Hyderabad only ended up getting 3 runs, I think, wasn't it?
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, so that was absolutely crazy, and obviously KKR got there quite easily. So at that point, we are now, so we being the Knight Riders are on 10 points, and you guys are on 6. However, we both played 9 games. Obviously, we're not going to be getting any extra points from this game. So if you win the next game, you will just be 2 points behind. So it's tightening up.
It's tightening up. It's tightening up.
Yeah. But they're just the kick. I just don't seem to be in form at the moment. I don't know what's happening, but I mean, I do know what's happening today is the massive batting collapse. But there's just far too many noughts and ones in there. But much like our own efforts on Cricket 19 earlier.
Oh, goodness me, yes. Well, that's a totally. I thought I was going to win today, everyone. I think for those of you that have listened to the podcast before where we've played Cricket 19, I'm not very good. It's not a game that I'm very good at.
I mean, I'll be fair, neither of us are particularly good, but I seem to have a slight edge over you.
I think that's an understatement. Yeah.
Well, it is slight because the game that we played earlier. So we did a stream earlier, and if you do want to go and watch the full replay of that, it is over on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.com/wrong end of the stick. Again, I'll put a link in the description. But you can. You can see that neither of us are particularly great, but you had a decent first innings. You got more than the Knight Riders have got in this one in a 20 over match.
I did.
You got 93, so perfectly
bad.
respectable for us. And it was looking good for you for a while. I mean, off the first like 4 overs, you took 2 wickets, and I
Yep.
think I'd got very few runs. I think I got about 8 runs or something. So it was looking really promising.
And there
And
was
then
just
I don't know what happened, to be honest. The game just got away from you. I had about 2 overs where I started hitting some boundaries, and then you started bringing spinners on, and I can play spin on Cricket 19. Unlike in real life, I can play spin on Cricket 19. And yeah, it got away from you. So my 100% record is intact still. So,
which I'm hoping to beat very soon.
yes, I'm sure you can have another crack at me.
I'm going to go
before too long.
Yeah, I'm going to go toil away and spend about 6 hours just playing the hardest AI that I can until I'm ridiculously good.
Well, I look forward to the challenge. Dear. So yeah, so there we are. So that's where we are with the IPL. So we should probably tell them where all of the other teams are, because I'm sure people don't just listen for our 2 teams. So right now, I have lost the league. Where am I? So who is leading the way? I believe it's the Deccan Chargers. Sorry, the Delhi Capitals. Deccan Chargers. That's a blast from the past there.
Okay.
So the Delhi Capitals are top. They play 10 games and are at 14 points. And then the Mumbai Indians and the Royal Challengers Bangalore are following on 12 points apiece, although Royal Challengers Bangalore are going to get another 2 because they're the ones that are beating Knight Riders right now. So that will put them level on points. So it's going to go them down to net run rate at that point, which again is probably they're going to have a big boost to that. So they're going to be close to the top. Then we've got the Knight Riders in 4th, then Kings 11 Punjab, Rajasthan Royals in 5th and 6th, Sunrisers Hyderabad in 7th, and then the Chennai Super Kings are down at the bottom of the league.
Interesting. That's very interesting from the Super Kings, since they've won it quite a few times actually, haven't they?
They have, yeah. So yeah, it's not a good season for them at the moment anyway. So yeah, it's very interesting though. Yeah, are you confident of going ahead?
I think. I mean, there's some people on the team that I don't actually know who they are. But we've got the likes of David Warner, Kane Williamson, Jason Holder, and Johnny Bairstow's in there actually as wiki. So, the people that I know that they're first class cricketers. They should kind of be there. The squad looks as though it could be kind of there. I mean, the Royals tomorrow. I mean, I don't know any of them apart from Ben Stokes. Oh, Tom Corrin's in there. I'm Joss Butler, actually. So,
yeah.
Oh, God, they've got Jofra Archer. I didn't realise that. Right. Okay. Well, no, I'm still confident. Yeah, I'm still confident we're going to win it.
Well,
Let us know your thoughts in the comments. But I think Sunrisers have got this. We're not swayed. We're not intimidated.
Well, I was reading a little bit of an article on Jofra Archer. Now you mentioned him actually, about how his performances in the IPL over the last a few seasons and stuff. And he's there's Quick Viz who do all kinds of different stats and stuff about cricket. Have done some the highest bowling impact in the IPL in this year's tournament. And Jofra Archer is top of the pile there, having by far and away the biggest bowling impact of anybody. So he's dismissed David Warner, although we should mention that as well. There was a fantastic little interaction between Jofra Archer and people on Twitter. So Jofra Archer tweeted out saying, I think he tweeted to Xbox, I think, saying, "Oh, how many wickets do I have to take to get one of your new Xboxes?" And Xbox UK came back with an absolutely fantastic reply saying, just won, and then they tagged David Warner in it and said, if you get him, we'll give you an Xbox. The very next day, Jofra Archer went and took David Warner's wickets. So I'm presuming
Wow.
he's going to get himself a bright, shiny new Xbox. So,
Congratulations.
talk about that for motivation, I tell you. That's
That would definitely motivate me. I'd definitely be bending the back for a new PS5. So,
I mean, I'm still not sure you could get David Warner out, but
I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, so there you are. So Jofra Archer's top of the pile for highest bowling impact in the IPL in 2020. So the other ones up there, Jasprit Bumrah, Rashid Khan, all people you would expect to be up there. Really. So yeah, so it's good to see what will come of him. Hopefully, you can knock over a few of your batting people this season.
I hope he's worn himself out. Who's Bumrah playing for, actually? What team is Bumrah in?
It's a very good question, and I don't have it to hand. They play in blue because his stats are all in blue here, but I don't have it to hand. So I would guess Delhi.
Okay.
But give me a second and I'll get there for you. Just talk amongst yourselves.
Mumbai Indians, apparently.
Oh yeah, there you go. Mumbai Indians.
Mumbai Indians
Yeah.
plays for.
There you
Okay.
go. Yeah, so Rabard is top of the wicket taking column. So he's taken 21 wickets. Mohammad Shami for Kings 11 Punjab on 16, then Bumrah on 15. Archer's on 13 at the moment. So yeah, interesting. Rashid Khan is your highest bowler on 11 wickets. And nobody for the Knight Riders is anywhere near in like the top 20, which probably sums up why we're having issues, really, because we can't take any wickets. So yeah, there you go. So there you go. Let us know. Come over on Twitter. Have a chat with us about the IPL. Tell us what we don't know, because this is sort of the first season we properly paid attention to it, isn't it?
Yeah. And I was saying that it's such an exciting league where you've got like the creme de la creme of international players all over the world playing in the short form of the game. It's what is there not to love? In a place in the world where it's comparable to the English and their football. It's England is the home of cricket, but if England is the home, then India is the Colosseum of it all. It's where the hype is, and yeah, I mean, they absolutely love it over there. So I'm excited to see. I'm excited near the back end of the tournament to see what kind of happens specifically for our teams, but just in general the hype around it and the excitement of the matches. So gonna have to get some cricket on the old Skybox.
Definitely. Good stuff. Right. Well, shall we go into our usual features? And I should just do a little bit of a trail into it. So we'll kick off with Who Can Play That Game. So this one is where every few weeks or so we download a cricket-related game or just play a cricket-related game. And this is a video where we come and review it, really. So, Zach, what have we been playing? Well, it was actually a couple of weeks ago that we played this initially. But yeah, what have we been playing?
So we've been playing a game called Hit Wicket Cricket. Is it called Hit Wicket Cricket?
It is called Hit Wicket Superstars. So
Hit Wicket Superstars. And for those of you that have ever played kind of these, there's a bit of play to win, a bit of RNG involved, but it's really kind of, it's like kind of chant to drop certain things and items and stuff.
I say I'm learning here, everyone. I don't know anything. You can tell I'm old and don't understand these young terms.
So it's a really kind of, what I like about it is it's simple, it's stimulating, it's got enough to kind of keep you engaged. And the actual mechanics of the game when you start is when you're batting, you've got a chance. It gives you a percentage of whether or not, based on the bowler and everything else, what shot is going to kind of work for you. So there's a little bit of kind of thinking involved. It's not just a swipe and hope and swipe game that we've played in the past, and it's not so much kind of heavily involved in the kind of stats and strategy of some of our previous kind of management cricket games. So it really strikes that nice balance of, having to think, having to kind of progress relatively easily with a little bit of thought and chance involved with what shots you've got to play. And I've really enjoyed it. I think out of 5, I'm going to give this one I'm going to give it a 4. If you want a good game on your phone that you can just kind of potter around on, don't have to think too much about, get that kind of validation of progressing, and the gameplay is relatively easy to pick up along with the mechanics, then definitely a good game to play on the train or when you're out and about or trying to slack off work. So Hit Wicket, Superstars, definitely up there for this week's Two Can Play.
Yeah, I have to say I did enjoy it, and I haven't played it for a little while, but partly that was just because I switched phone and it didn't carry over to my new phone, and therefore that's where I kind of got a little bit out of it. But I like that the gameplay itself is quite simple, as you say. There's a little bit of strategy there that you will have, how many runs you need in how many balls. And then you've got to just work that through the shots that you've got. And so for every ball, it will come up and say, oh, it's this type of ball that's coming. So you can either try and just block it, which has got like a percentage of success, or you can go all the way through to a 1, 2, 4, or a 6. And obviously, if you're going for a 6, it's got a much smaller percentage chance of success, but obviously you get the run. So you've got to try and balance up that, how many runs you need by how much of a risk you're willing to take, which is all sort of that. Is related and very good and very true to life in terms of how cricket works. And yeah, it's quite a nice game in terms of there's a little bit of longevity as well to it. There's different things you can do. You can like train up and you create your own team and you can start training new players and go scouting for players and stuff. So yeah, there's a bit of life to it as well. And you're right in terms of the gameplay. It's good. There's enough to it, but it's yet simple enough to pick up. You can pick up and play and be quite into it and get the game and what's going on very quickly. So yeah, I'd go with you with a 4 out of 5. I think that's good.
I think what I think is as well, which gives it, to talk about kind of longevity, but also accessibility. Even if like you're not into playing cricket, you don't necessarily need to understand the game to play it. And a lot of the cricketing games that we've had on the phones, they do that, where, like I say, it's a swipe and win sort of thing. But you can play this game as if you would play, Raid Shadow Legends or Empires and any of those kind of games without understanding the rules of cricket. You can still kind of potter along and go it and actually get an understanding of, okay, so if they're going to be a pace ball, I've got a smaller percentage of hitting them, down this way or whatever. So no, I really enjoy it. Probably the best game I think so far for this pod, actually.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Big praise. Big praise.
Big
But
praise.
it's good. It's worth go. Again, I will do my usual and try and stick a link to it down in the description. And yeah, well worth checking out and giving it a go. So yeah, excellent.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Right, onto our longest running feature, shall we?
Yes.
So we're now on to Seamingly Stumped. Now, Seamingly Stumped is where we attempt to challenge each other on our rather patchy knowledge of the cricketing terminology of the obscure or not so obscure terms that are used in cricket and try and figure out what they are if we don't know already. So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first this time?
I will let you go first because my computer is having a little bit of a moment at the moment. I think.
Excellent. Right. I mean, I think it's a fairly simple one. I think you might well get this one, but I think it's an interesting one. So, my seemingly stumped for you this week is a sundry. What is a sundry?
A sundry. The first thing I thought of was sun-dried tomatoes. So I would think like a dry ball or a ball that's condition is not very good. But then I also thought sundry as in to sunder. So it could be like a really impactful delivery or a really big hit. Oh God. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go with my first initial guess, I think. So, is it where a sundry? Is it a like? Would you have a sundry of bowling where the ball is acting erratically due to the conditions of the ball? So it's been worn away, it's all kind of torn up. Um, there's a few overs left where they can't yet request a new ball, and it's just going all over the place, and it's because of the condition of the ball, it's not behaving in the right way.
I see where you're going with that. I do.
But it's not, is it?
It's
So fun.
no, it
Ah,
is
there we go.
not. No, it's not. It's much simpler than that. Um,
Oh,
a sundry
okay.
is simply it's an extra. It's just the
Oh,
extra bits that you get on the scoreboard. So it's your wides, your buys, your leg buys. That's your no balls all added together. They are the sundries. Um, I still
oh,
can't quite figure out why they're called sundries, and I tried to do a bit of digging, but you go down into a rabbit warren of all kinds of different stuff. So if anybody does know why they're called sundries, I don't know, but they're the extra runs that you get that aren't sort of attributed to a specific batsman. So yeah, they're
right.
literally so if you as a bowler if you overstep your mark and you get called as a no ball, that will go down as a no ball, and that's a sundry, and that's one of the extras. So there you
Well,
go.
there you go.
There you go. You have been stumped.
I've been absolutely stumped.
Seemingly stumped. So, all right, okay, your turn now.
My turn. Right. I can't see it, but I can remember what it's all about. Um, now, I don't think we've had
Hmm.
uh, this one before. So let's hope that. I mean, you could take a guess. So your seemingly stumped this week is a beer match.
A beer match.
Oh, good. That's the reaction I was hoping for.
Interesting. I mean, I imagine it's a match where you drink a lot of beer and nobody is playing very well. But I will go and try and elaborate a little bit more on that. So I think this comes from that. There's for anyone new to the podcast, I a long time ago lived out in Canada, and Canada ice hockey is the game of choice there. And what they have there is they have beer leagues,
Right.
and that is literally just it's almost like village cricket. It's kind of like quite a low level where, to be honest, yeah, there are people just drinking beer throughout. The level isn't very good, and people are just playing it for that reason and because they love the game and all the rest of it. So I would imagine in a somewhat similar way, a beer match is a very sort of friendly, informal game between two teams over a nice drink of beer. That's going to be my guess. But I have a horrible feeling I'm wrong, but that would be my guess.
Well, you're not too far off, but at the same time,
I'm not right.
I suppose I could possibly give you half a point. A beer match is when it's a match, usually ad hoc kind of um, kind of created, and it's a usually an obscure format of the game. So reverse order cricket, for example, all outfielders have to bat. Um,
Uh,
25 retiring, kind
so
of
would
cricket.
our game of single wicket cricket would that have counted as a beer match? Do you think?
It's essentially, yeah, it's kind of in that sort of vein. And the reason why it's called a beer match isn't because you're kind of drinking throughout the game, but it's usually because the formats of the game are so short as to allow the cricketers to be able to get in before last orders, um,
Nice.
to get together to play a game and to finish up relatively quickly, and just really to come together as a friendly game, a quite short format of the game, and one and done. Just to come together for the love of the game, really. So it's a shorter format of the game in order to let people go early.
I like it. I like
And
it.
that's a beer match.
That's good. Oh yeah, I'll take half a point because I can see I was
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
half
you were
right,
there.
but just
Yeah,
not quite. So yeah, I'll take half a point on that. Excellent.
well, there you go.
Excellent.
I've been some. I think you've been on a bit of a roll recently with the seemingly stumps, actually. I
Yeah, I
think
have a little bit. Yeah, I have.
it's been a while since I've managed to properly stump you,
To
I
be
feel.
fair, you did go through quite a run of getting me. You came up with some weird and wonderful terms at one point that I just never heard of at all. So yeah, so it's rebalancing a little bit, which I'm pleased about.
You should have kept a tally, really, shouldn't we?
We probably should, but that would require some level of organisation, which we just don't
Oh
have on
no,
this podcast. So
absolutely not.
um,
Absolutely not.
right, I think that's probably us done.
I think that is. I think, yeah, I think we've covered everything, haven't we?
I think we have. Let's wrap up there. Thank you very much for listening. If you would like to interact with us on Twitter, if you want those competitions for some of that lovely merchandise, do go over and make sure you follow us on Twitter. We are at Wrong End Podcast. We're also on Instagram at Wrong End Podcast. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. We're all over the place, really. And you can also email us at wrongendofthestick@hotmail.com. And one final, very, very quick thing before we do disappear. I just want to say a very nice thank you. We are sort of doing a bit of planning. Yes, some planning does go into this podcast occasionally for future episodes. And as part of that, I had emailed Simon Taufel, who is the retired umpire, to see if he might be available to chat to us. He's not, but he sent a really lovely email just explaining that he wasn't, and wishing us luck and hoping we were all well. And I just thought that was really lovely that he took the time out to respond to us. So thank you, Simon, and hope you are well down under in Australia. So that was very nice of him.
Yeah, big love to all the umpires out there. It's a hard knock life.
Right. Okay. So yeah, go follow us on Twitter. Buy some of our stuff on, and yeah, definitely buy a face mask and keep yourself and your family safe.
Definitely.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for listening, everyone, and we will see you next time.
See you later, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.